Yo, I'm Simon Thompson for the DownrockRecords.com. This is the listening room, the leftovers, the listening room, whatever you want to call it. And this is the first episode. And, for the leftovers listening room, basically I'm going to be skimming through reviewing albums that I don't post at the DownrockRecords.com simply because there's just too much of them. There's too many of them. So I figure, you can hang out with me in real time as I check these out for the first time. All right, there's the title. So we're going to be listening to today together. For the first time, I listened to a little bit of it already, just in like a little bit. Jump in from like the beginning to the middle to the end. But let's go through it together a little bit more in depth. Alrighty. Like Urkel out here. Oh, it's a nice intro. That's a nice intro. Okay. Oh, that was nice. Okay, I could tell there's going to be some pretty good lyrics. I like that beat.
Hyper gangsterism plague my community. Little niggas shooters with roof light. On the rail, I done it all, but I still might. Conversations in the mirror. Reflection spoke to me, said, nigga, this our year.
That sound like, actually, well, I guess the sample in there is coming off of that AZ track, but this does sound like that AZ style, early 2000s, late 90s. He likes that R&B, that that slow jam R&B. He likes rapping on them beats, and it fits him. It suits him real well. So I never really complain. I love AZ as a rapper, and his music isn't like super like it's nothing. It's not necessarily the most memorable. It's replayable, and it's still kind of timeless because those tracks never really go out of style. But so far so good. I like it. I like that New York R&B gangster street, whatever the heck you want to call it. I love that combination. So far so good. Let's keep going.
You look at me, what do you see? I picture myself in the vision well. How they say, my incentive was designing denims, living frivolous. Now I got my eyes on land trust. Billion plus street players living large. You ain't thinking big enough. Get into this guava, I forgot there my bitch.
Yeah, we all know that track. Anyway, we don't need to get into it. If you're about your hip hop, then you know what track that he's getting this whole vibe from. But it's done really well. I like the way that he's done it. I like the way they've done it on this. It's very well done. This DJ Manifest, I'm guessing, produced it. That's okay. Let's get more into it. That's all I'm gonna.
Talk about some Betty, you could talk to me directly. I be up when you gone. I was bothered when you met me. The loop, you can win it, Rich. Flex, the production of
Now my backpacker roots, right? Like, this ain't hip hop. It ain't hip hop. He ain't hip hop. That's that's my usual tip. But in situations like this is just like, I just let myself be entertained. You know what I mean? It's straight up. We all know what it is. It's that hustler pimp vibe thing. Ain't no reason to get too deep. I just get into the beat. As long as the lyrics are good and they match the beat, as long as the flow, the style, everything is like done well, I can get into it. It's like when it's like contrived and it's overly done and it's not fitting, like it just doesn't fit. You don't even have to see them rapping it or anything. You don't have to see who the rapper is. Like, you could just hear whether or not it fits, whether it fits their style or whatever. Like, you could tell like right away if it's authentic. You know what I mean? And this is like authentically done. This is, you know, who this dude is. YT. This is who I'm thinking that's what it is. YT or hell, whatever. I'm thinking that's what it is. It's authentic, you know what I mean. So I can get into it pretty easy. I take off my backpack attire, my back. I get out of backpack mode and I get into this type of thing. So.
On my limbs, dripping Fendi shit. Militant, the other two be marching to that business quick. My niggas home, we fitting to go. Little boy, I'm dogging now.
Hey, what's the plan? Money making activities. Gotta shake, maximum hydration. Last.
This is just night cruising music. You know what I mean? It ain't, you know, if you, a lot of dudes from my generation will get into it easy. It's, you know, a lot of dudes from my generation came up on G-Funk, and this isn't as bumpy and bouncy as G-Funk, but you know, a lot of dudes from my era could still get into this because, you know, the slow jam era, that old, you know, jazzy, real gritty New York City R&B slow jam vibe is just everything, right? It's a culmination of so many things, but it works, right? And it's really just that night cruising music. I don't drive, but I would probably be bumping it in my headphones, walking around at night, or whatever, on my bike, going to, you know, cruising around the city on my bike, you know. Yeah, that's what this is. It's just some good cruising music, man. It's just, you know, you get out of your critical mode and you just let yourself be entertained. That's what you got to do sometimes with some music. And when it's done well, I can really get into it. Like this Pimp Hustler player mode, I can really get into it when it's really done well. So, you know, I'll check it out for that.
Some here was stripped, but you ain't stacking. That's a violation. You ain't living. Money making activities. Gotta shake, maximize.
And like I said before, as the lyrics and the flow match the beat, the style, you can feel the authenticity, then it really works.
MMA, money making activity. You gotta pay before you play. Is you feeling every day? Ay.
Nice hook.
That thing that you know I like. It been a grip, I know it's tight. Hop in the coat, let's bust a move. What you wanna do, it's up to you. What's the one? I'm choosing up when it's all said. Gonna take you out. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long day.
It ain't super lyricism, it's lyricism enough. You know what I mean? It's enough. You're entertained, you know what I mean?
Been on the east so long, I'm misplacing my southern accent. Sorta like Mike from the wood, dip with Stacy blowing stanky. I know they hate me, fuck 'em back, bro. I'm space age to the moon, baby. Let these other niggas chase. I'm cold, baby, cold. You dressed in Pradas, flying at Bagadas, never catch me stressed and bothered about anything I'm involved in. They say I'm ice cold with it. Frigidaire, you think the pole shifted? Fox on the shoulders, my goals glisten.
Some lines. There's some lines, you know. I ain't gonna lie, there's some lines. These dudes, they you know, they ain't just go in the studio and just like, you know, start having fun, you know. This is done well. There's purpose, you know what I mean?
What we doing? Bust it down, we can split it. On the set if you read it. God made these hands for counting money, yeah. All that ain't about how much is on your plate. The goal was to eat, living comfortably. All my cars got pinks. Drinking water, come in glass. Fuck plastic and sinks. Breeze past your cheap ass. See me rap these hands for counting money, yeah. All I know is go, baby, run it up.
Yeah, she been on my third leg, cute with the forehead, foreign out a moped. I just let the money spread.
Pardon me, that was a good one. Anyway, this stuff is just fun. I probably should have pressed pause on that. Oh, good lord. Anyway, yo, that's just some. That's a good burp too. Anyways, this is some good lyrics. Terrible. Oh my god.
I just like to stack right, stay with my act right, stay up in the fast life, 100
Oh.
grand appetite. Oh, she been watching me, y'all know.
That's what I'm saying. This is it just
Game up, I'm sponge like when sunlight fall, I come to life. It's nothing like maneuvering a cougar on summer night. She coming off moolah and medulla, no underbite. Ass with that we been running.
that was nice. All right.
My OG told me that this life is what you
Tracks are long as hell. That's what I'm talking about. Oh. Hear that bass? That's my old studio nerd. Me, old studio nerd self. I used to be up in the studio. I you know, anytime like cousins and things were making music back in the day when studios were like, you know, like millions of dollars worth of equipment, you know, for, you know, hundreds of dollars at the thrift shop, at the pawn shop, you know, back in those days. And, you know, the older heads were making the beats, and I'd be like, no, throw that in there, throw this in there. This would be funky. That would be dirty. You know what I mean? That's this is one of those tracks. Like it brings out the old studio nerd in me. So when I like these albums, like I'll listen to a whole album. This is one of those albums like I can listen to it in whole. There's like I don't need to be skipping through anything, but there will be standout tracks, and this track I would take out and put in a playlist, you know, to you know, as a solo track. There's always 1, 2, 3 tracks that you're gonna like want on their own, and this is one of those tracks I'll definitely take.
And on you looking at 40. Whole timing informant told how the work was imported, then escorted right home. Certain moves we can't post. It's liabilities, remixing their energy like from the enemy.
Nice. The outros are done well. Oh, you hear that already? You hear that? Are they gonna dare to do this? Let me see how they do this. Let me hear the bouncy part. Let me hear the bump. Let's see if they get... Oh, this track doesn't sound like it's going to be long enough. Look at that. Doesn't look like it's going to be long enough. I like it. I like it when, you know, I like it when, you know, the track like that, like a classic, iconic track like that is like done well, is reinterpreted well. You know, a lot of people, you know, the real dusty old heads, the real true backpackers who don't want anything messed with or nothing like that will be like, oh, you know, that's a sacred track. Don't do nothing to that track. You know, entertainment, you know, of all forms is made to be reinterpreted. Like when you create something, your hope is that it inspires someone enough to either try to make it better or to, you know, try to be inspired by it, right? Like to do their own thing with it. And if they cover, I love covers. If you do a good cover of something, then that's great. So, you know, I like that. I hope like when I go back and listen to it that there's like a lot of it, because it's looking more like an outro and it's going to be short, but I just like it. If you can do it well, then do it. Then I advocate it, you know, cover it. Like I said, things are going to get reinterpreted 100 times over. Every form of media, entertainment media, is going to get reinterpreted 100 times over for the next 500 years. You know, there will be multiple versions of a track you like or movie you like, comic book you read or character or whatever. You know, there's people are going to do these reinterpretations of things. Shakespeare, all these things get reinterpreted over hundreds of years. If you don't like it, then don't check for it. You could go back to the source, but you know, eventually some version of it's going to come out that you really like. So like, why not go and check it out? You know what I mean? Why not get into it? Just let yourself be entertained every once in a while. Anyway, that was the, you know, review, listen, you know, real-time listen to of All Hail YT and DJ Manifest Soul in the Mirror album. Go and check out more at thedownrockrecords.com. Go and check out thedownrockrecords.com, My Blue Sky, to see whether I bump it or dump it. And I'll catch y'all in the next. Have a good night. Peace. It's raining outside.